In the distant lands of northern India, around the 5th century BC, lived a young man named Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha, who we often remember as Gautama Buddha, was a prince. The comforts of his life were infinite, yet a sense of restlessness troubled him. One day he abandoned his palace, leaving behind wealth and comfort. He sought to understand the mystery of human suffering and the turbulence within the human mind. This is the story of a journey that led to the discovery of a 1-minute cure for anxiety. Siddhartha first met an old man named Ram, living by himself in a small hut. Ram had an infectious smile and an aura of calm. Observing Ram's tranquility, Siddhartha asked, "Why does nothing perturb your peace?" Ram answered, "My young prince, I was once as troubled as you are, but I learned to observe the rising and falling of my emotions, just as one observes the rising and setting of the sun. With time, they ceased to have control over me." Intrigued, Siddhartha sought to understand this wisdom. He stayed with Ram, learned to quiet his mind, and observe his emotions. Yet after several months, he found his anxiety not fully cured. Siddhartha thanked Ram and continued his journey. He then encountered Sita, a fisherwoman who seemed at peace even amidst the tempestuous waves. Siddhartha asked, "How can you be at peace when surrounded by such turmoil?" Sita replied, "My prince, the sea can be calm one moment and stormy the next. It's its nature. I do not wish to control it. I only learn to navigate through it. Similarly, our minds are full of thoughts, positive and negative. I let them come and go. I do not attach myself to them." This resonated with Siddhartha, and he began to practice detachment from his thoughts. Yet he realized that his journey was not over. His heart thanked Sita, and he journeyed forward. Further into his journey, Siddhartha met Arjun, a woodcutter. Despite his laborious life, Arjun was always cheerful. Siddhartha asked, "How can you find joy in such hard labor?" Arjun replied, "Prince, it's not the work that's hard, but the resistance we offer to it. When I embrace my work as a part of me, it ceases to be a burden. My labor is my meditation. In it, I find my peace." Impressed by Arjun's wisdom, Siddhartha too embraced discomfort and integrated it into his life. But still, his search was not over. Finally, he encountered an old monk, Ananda, radiating serenity. Desperate to find his cure, Siddhartha asked, "Ananda, what is the secret to your inner peace?" Ananda looked at him and said, "The key, dear prince, is not in fighting or suppressing your emotions, nor in detaching from your thoughts, or even embracing discomfort. These are part of the journey but not the destination. The true cure lies in the present moment. Live in the now, not in the past or future. When you anchor yourself in the present, anxiety loses its power." Siddhartha was puzzled. "But how do I live in the present?" Ananda smiled and said, "Breathe. Pay attention to your breath for a minute. When you focus on your breath, you are in the now. This is the 1-minute cure for anxiety." And so Siddhartha practiced. He learned to focus on his breath, to live in the present. He discovered that within this simple act lay the power to control his anxiety. He continued to breathe mindfully, each day, every day, for minutes, for hours. And one day, under the Bodhi tree, he attained enlightenment. He was no longer Siddhartha. He was Buddha, the enlightened one. Through this journey, he learned that the 1-minute cure was not a miracle, but a lifelong practice. It was not about eliminating anxiety, but understanding it, accepting it, and not letting it control you. To this day, Buddha's wisdom echoes in our hearts. Whether you are a prince or a pauper, a hermit or a socialite, remember, the 1-minute cure for anxiety is always with you, in your breath, in the now. Embrace it, practice it, and let it illuminate your path. We just shared a beautiful story about Siddhartha Gautama, the prince who transformed into Buddha, the enlightened one. His journey towards the cure for anxiety holds profound lessons and insights for all of us. Firstly, the story teaches us the power of observation. As Ram taught Siddhartha, we too can learn to observe our emotions without judgment or attachment. The next time you're feeling anxious or upset, take a moment to identify your emotions and let them be, rather than suppressing them. Secondly, Sita taught Siddhartha to accept life's ups and downs without attaching himself too much to them. Similarly, you must understand that highs and lows are part of life. Try to accept both success and failure with grace, knowing they are two sides of the same coin. Thirdly, the story imparts Arjun's wisdom that work isn't a burden, if we accept it as part of us. The stress of work often comes from resistance. Try to find meaning in your tasks, and your work will become a source of satisfaction rather than stress. But the most important lesson of all comes from Ananda, the power of the present moment. Living in the now helps us escape the anxiety that comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. A simple and practical way to cultivate this mindfulness is through focused breathing. For just 1 minute a day, take a moment to sit quietly and focus on your breath. Notice the air entering and leaving your body. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. Over time, this practice will ground you in the present and help manage your anxiety. Remember, like Siddhartha, we all embark on our unique journeys. There is no one-size-fits-all answer to life's challenges, but these lessons can light our path. Now, my friends, if this story has touched your heart, if it has brought you some peace or inspiration, I kindly ask you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are here to learn, grow, and journey together, so your support means a lot. Stay tuned for more tales of wisdom, more life-changing lessons from Gautama Buddha, and many more influential figures. Our journey is far from over. In fact, it's only just begun. Let's walk this path together, finding our peace, one breath at a time.